There is a special kind of exhaustion that has nothing to do with a long day's work. It is the weariness of the soul that comes from fighting a war that no one else can see. The quiet, endless battle against yourself. The constant striving to be better, stronger, wiser, calmer. Only to feel, at the end of the day, that you have once again fallen short. It's the weight of carrying an impossible standard, a measuring stick that seems to grow longer every time you get close to it. This is the exhaustion of trying to be perfect in an imperfect world, in an imperfect life, with an imperfect heart. And it is the most profoundly human tiredness there is. And so, as you lie here now, feeling the pull of that familiar weariness, consider a different possibility. What if this deep exhaustion is not a sign of your failure? What if, instead, it is a wise and loving signal from the deepest part of you, an invitation to finally stop fighting? What if tonight could be different? Before we go any further, let's just take a quiet moment together, acknowledging where you are in this world right now, in this room, in this bed, noticing the time on the clock, the quality of the darkness or the early light outside your window. Are you listening in the deep velvet of late night when the world has gone still? Or perhaps in those fragile pre-dawn hours when sleep just won't come and the mind feels too loud? There is no need to do anything about this, only to notice, to feel yourself right here, right now, a single point of presence on a quiet planet. And to know that this time right now, is entirely yours, a sacred space carved out of the day, just for you. So let yourself begin to arrive here, truly arrive. Allow your body the simple luxury of sinking into the surface beneath you. Feel the gentle pull of gravity, a force that asks nothing of you but to be held. Notice the texture of the sheets against your skin, the weight of the blanket over you, a soft, reassuring pressure. This is your vessel for the night, this bed, this quiet corner of the world. It is your sanctuary, and for the next little while, it is the safest place you can possibly be. Let go of the day that has passed. Whatever was said or left unsaid, whatever was done or left undone, it is over. It exists now only as a memory, an echo, and you can allow those echoes to fade into the background, like the sound of a distant train passing in the night. Your only task now is to be here. Let's begin by making a simple, unspoken agreement with ourselves. Just for tonight, we are calling a truce, a complete ceasefire in the long war of self-improvement. Just for tonight, you do not have to fix anything. You do not have to solve anything. You do not have to become a better version of yourself. The person you are in this exact moment, tired, perhaps anxious, perhaps hopeful, perfectly imperfect, is exactly the person who was invited to rest. All of you is welcome here. There is nothing to prove and no one to impress. The judges have gone home. The critics have fallen silent. The jury has been dismissed. There is only the quiet, unconditional space of this moment. Feel what a relief that is. A subtle but profound shift in the energy within you. The feeling of armor being unbuckled and set aside. The feeling of a shield being gently placed on the floor. For so long, you have held it up, ready to defend against criticism, both from the outside and, more often, from within. But not tonight. Tonight, we are undefended. We are open. We are simply here. And now, bring a gentle awareness to your body, this faithful companion that has carried you through everything. Let's not scan it for flaws or problems to fix. Let's visit it as a dear friend. Start with your jaw. Notice if there is any tightness there, a clenching, that holds the unspoken words and frustrations of the day. And without forcing it, simply invite it to soften. Imagine the muscles letting go, creating a tiny space between your upper and lower teeth. A little release that sends a signal of peace throughout your entire nervous system. Let that softness travel up to the small muscles around your eyes, releasing the strain of looking, of focusing, of trying so hard to see the right way forward. Allow your forehead to become smooth and wide. Let your shoulders, which so often carry the weight of your responsibilities, finally release their burden. Imagine that weight as a heavy cloak you've been wearing all day, and with a slow, easy exhale, feel it sliding off your shoulders and dissolving into the air. Your arms and your hands can grow heavy and warm. Perhaps your fingers are curled slightly. See if you can allow them to unfurl, to open, releasing whatever they have been grasping so tightly. There is nothing to hold on to right now, nothing to control. Bring this same gentle attention to your chest and your stomach. This is where we so often hold our fears and our worries. Don't try to push them away. Simply notice them, and with each breath, imagine creating more space around them. With every inhale, a little more room. With every exhale, a little more softness. Allowing your belly to be soft, to rise and fall with the simple ancient rhythm of your breath. This breath, which has been with you every moment of your life, asks for nothing. It just flows in and flows out. A steady, reliable anchor in the present moment. Let your breath breathe you. There is no need to change it or deepen it. Just rest your awareness on its gentle tide. Each breath is a wave of release. Each breath is a confirmation that you are alive and that in this moment you are safe. Now let that sense of release travel down into your legs, your knees, your ankles, and your feet. These feet that have stood their ground, that have walked you through difficult paths, that have carried you here to this place of rest. Allow them to be completely supported. Let go of all effort. Feel your entire body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, surrendering its weight to the bed. A complete and total letting go. This body, with all its aches and pains, all its history and its stories, is worthy of this rest. It is your home. And tonight, we treat it with kindness. This is the foundation we are setting. A foundation of safety, of permission, of unconditional acceptance. From this quiet place, we can begin to explore the idea of our own imperfection, not as a flaw to be eradicated, but as an essential, even beautiful, part of who we are. For tonight, we are not striving for a state of perfect peace or a mind completely empty of thought. If thoughts come, let them come. See them as clouds drifting through the vast open sky of your awareness. You don't have to climb aboard them. You can simply watch them drift by. The goal is not perfection. The goal is truce. The intention is acceptance. We are creating a space where you can befriend yourself, exactly as you are. A space where the deep and relentless exhaustion from the inner war can finally begin to heal. You have fought so hard for so long. You have tried your very best. And now, the wisest and most loving thing you can do is to rest, to lay down your weapons just for this night, and to trust that in this surrender, you will find a strength that striving could never give you. Welcome to this truce. Welcome to this peace. Welcome home to yourself. Now, in this quiet space of truce, let's gently turn our awareness inward, not with the intention of analyzing or fixing, but simply to observe, like a curious and kind traveler, entering a land they wish to understand. For a long time, this inner world has been a place of conflict, a battlefield. And tonight, under the soft light of acceptance, we can walk through it safely and see it for what it is. The first thing we notice is the silence where the commands used to be. Every day, there is a voice that directs the battle. We can call it the inner critic. It often sounds just like your own voice, which is why it's so convincing. But if you listen closely, you'll notice it has a different quality. It's sharper, colder, more impatient. It is the voice that points out the mistake before anyone else does. It's the voice that replays an awkward conversation on a loop, highlighting everything you did wrong. It's the voice that looks in the mirror and sees only flaws. It speaks in absolutes. You always do this. You'll never get it right. You are not enough. For so long, this voice has felt like the truth. It has felt like an accurate report of reality. But what if it's not? Consider, just for a moment, that this critical voice isn't an enemy trying to destroy you. What if it's a misguided protector? A part of you that, long ago, learned that being harsh with yourself was the best way to stay safe. Perhaps it learned that if it criticized you first, the criticism of others wouldn't hurt as much. Perhaps it believed that if it pushed you relentlessly toward perfection, you would finally earn the love, safety, and belonging that all beings crave. This voice isn't malicious. It is terrified. It is trying to protect you from failure, from rejection, from pain, using the only tools it knows: fear and judgment. Tonight, we don't need to argue with this voice or banish it. We simply notice it. We see its strategy, and we can gently let it know that for tonight, its protection is not needed. We are safe. The battle is over. Alongside this voice, there are the battle plans themselves, the impossible standards. Think of them as a map you were given, a map to a place called good enough or worthy. You have followed this map with such devotion. It told you what to weigh, what to achieve, how to feel, how to be. It laid out the precise coordinates for the perfect parent, the perfect partner, the perfect employee, the perfect person. And you have spent so much energy trying to follow its directions. But here is the secret of this map. The destination it promises doesn't actually exist. It is a shimmering illusion on the horizon. Every time you take a step closer, the destination moves further away. The moment you achieve one goal, the standard shifts. The bar is raised. The map redraws itself to show you a new, even more difficult peak you must now climb. And so, you find yourself in a state of constant striving, a breathless pursuit of a goal that can never be reached. This is why you are so tired. You have been navigating with a phantom map. A map that was designed to keep you moving, to keep you striving, but never to let you arrive. Recognizing this is not a cause for despair. It is a moment of profound liberation. You are not failing. You have simply been given faulty instructions. Tonight, you can gently fold up that map and set it aside. You don't need its guidance anymore. Your own inner compass, the one that points toward kindness and self-acceptance, is far more reliable. Now let's look at the landscape of this battlefield. Imagine it in your mind's eye. See the trenches dug deep from years of defensive thinking. See the well-worn paths of anxious thought patterns. This is the terrain of your own mind. And in this landscape, a strange and tragic battle has been waged. Because in this war, you have been both the soldier and the enemy. You have been the archer and the target. Every harsh judgment was an arrow you fired at yourself. Every moment of punishing self-denial was a wound you inflicted on your own heart. It is a lonely and confusing war, where victory is impossible, because if you win, you also lose. No wonder there is so much exhaustion. Every ounce of energy spent on this fight was energy taken from living, from loving, from creating, from simply being. As we walk through this quieted battlefield now, let's look at the weapons that have been used. Let's not look with shame or regret, but with a gentle archaeological curiosity. We are simply identifying the tools of the trade. The first and most used weapon is self-criticism. It's a sharp, pointed word, a quick jab to the soul. It's the instant reflex to find fault in everything you do. It feels like a shock, a sting that makes you flinch inwardly. It promises to keep you sharp, to keep you from making mistakes. But its true effect is to drain your confidence and fill you with a low-grade sense of shame. It chips away at your sense of worth, little by little, day by day. Lying next to it is the weapon of comparison. This one is more subtle, a slow-acting poison. It happens when you look at someone else's life, their successes, their happiness, and you use it as a measure of your own inadequacy. In the age of curated images and highlight reels, this weapon has become more powerful than ever. It creates a constant feeling of being behind, of not measuring up. It whispers that everyone else has it figured out, and you are the only one who is struggling. It is a weapon that isolates you in a silent prison of your own perceived lack. And finally, there is the heaviest weapon of all, the relentless pursuit of fixing. This isn't a weapon used for quick attacks, but a heavy piece of machinery you have been dragging behind you. It is the belief that you are a project that needs to be completed, a problem that needs to be solved. You read the books, you listen to the advice, you make the resolutions. You are constantly scanning for flaws, weaknesses, and imperfections to eradicate. This project is never ending. It consumes your time, your energy, and your attention. It keeps you focused on what is wrong with you, blinding you to the vast, beautiful landscape of what is already right. This constant need to fix yourself is perhaps the most exhausting part of the entire war. It denies you the simple peace of just being. It prevents you from ever feeling at home in your own skin, because you believe your home is perpetually under construction and therefore uninhabitable. Seeing all this, the misguided critic, the phantom map, the self-inflicted wounds, the weapons of criticism and comparison, is not about making you feel worse. It is about bringing the unconscious into the light. The truth is, you cannot stop a war until you realize you are in one. You cannot call a truce until you see who has been fighting. And you cannot lay down your weapons until you know what they are and how you have been using them. So tonight, this simple act of seeing is the whole practice. There is nothing else to do. By acknowledging this inner battlefield, you are already beginning to transform it. You are shifting from being the soldier in the trenches to being the compassionate witness, the peaceful observer watching from a safe hill nearby. And from this new perspective, everything changes. The war loses its power when it is seen with clarity and held in kindness. You are not your inner critic. You are the one who hears it. You are not your impossible standards. You are the one who can choose to set them down. You are the stillness that exists beneath the noise of the battle. And in that stillness, A profound peace is waiting for you. Rest in that awareness now. The war is quiet. The weapons are on the ground. You are just here, breathing. And for tonight, that is more than enough. Let's stay here in this quiet, observant space and turn our gentle gaze toward the objective of this long war. What was it all for? What was the prize you were fighting so desperately to win? It has a name, this prize. We call it perfection. The word itself sounds so clean, so bright, so desirable. It shimmers on the horizon of our imagination like a perfect city of light, a place where everything is in its right place, where there is no pain, no mess, no uncertainty. This is the goal that has fueled the entire battle. The pursuit of perfection has been the commander-in-chief of your inner army. It has justified every harsh word, every demanding standard, every moment of self-denial. It promised you that if you could just reach it, everything would finally be okay. You would be safe. You would be loved. You would be worthy. It is the most compelling promise in the world. And so, we must ask, with the utmost gentleness and curiosity, what is this thing we call perfection? When we try to define it, it becomes slippery, like trying to hold water in our hands. For some, perfection is a physical state, the perfect body, the perfect face, the perfect home. It's an aesthetic of flawlessness, where every surface is smooth, every line is clean, and there is no sign of decay or disorder. For others, perfection is a state of performance, the perfect parent who never gets angry, the perfect employee who never makes a mistake, the perfect artist whose work is beyond criticism. It's a standard of doing, of achieving, of producing something that no one can find fault with. And for many, perfection is an inner state. The perfect sense of calm, the perfect spiritual enlightenment, the complete absence of negative emotions like anger, jealousy, or fear. It is the belief in a version of yourself that is pure, untroubled, and always serene. These are the images we hold in our minds. They are beautiful, alluring, and powerful. They are the unreachable horizon that has kept you marching for so long. But let's look closer at the nature of this horizon. The defining characteristic of a horizon is that you can never ever reach it. The very act of moving toward it causes it to recede. And this is the great, heartbreaking trick that the idea of perfection plays on us. It operates as a moving target. Think back on your own life. Remember a time when you set a goal for yourself, believing that its achievement would bring you that feeling of enoughness. Maybe it was getting a certain grade, or a specific job, or reaching a certain weight. You worked so hard. You strived, you sacrificed, you pushed yourself. And then, maybe you achieved it. You stood at the finish line you had set for yourself. And for a moment, perhaps there was a flicker of relief, a brief sense of satisfaction. But how long did it last? A day? An hour? A minute? Almost immediately, the inner voice of perfection would have spoken up. Okay, it would say, that was good. But now what? You can't just stop here. The next level is over there. Look, other people are already way ahead of you. And just like that, the horizon shifted. The goalpost moved. The feeling of arrival vanished, replaced by a new sense of urgency, a new destination you had to reach. What you thought was the summit was revealed to be just a false peak on a mountain range that stretches on forever. This is the cruel genius of perfection as a standard. It ensures that you are never allowed to rest. It guarantees that you will always feel like you are falling short because the finish line is a mirage. It is a system designed not for arrival, but for perpetual striving. It feeds on your energy, your hope, and your belief that this time it will be different. But it never is. The game is rigged. This is a critical realization. The feeling of not being good enough is not a reflection of your actual worth or your progress. It is a symptom of the system you are operating within. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You can pour and pour all the effort and achievement you want into it, but it will never feel full. The problem isn't your effort. The problem is the bucket. The problem is the very idea of perfection itself. It is a ghost, a beautiful, shimmering ghost that promises you everything. But because it has no substance, it can deliver nothing. You can chase a ghost your entire life, but you can never catch it. You can never hold it. You can never stand beside it and say, I have arrived. All you can do is exhaust yourself in the chase. And this, right here, is the wisdom your weariness is offering you. Your exhaustion is the proof that you have been chasing a ghost. It is the signal from your body, your heart, and your soul that this chase is fruitless and that it is time to stop running. Let's think about it in another way. Imagine perfection as a perfectly smooth, sterile, white room. There are no marks on the walls, no dust on the floor, no objects out of place. It is flawless. And for a moment, it might seem peaceful. But what would it be like to live in that room? You would be afraid to touch anything for fear of leaving a fingerprint. You would be afraid to sit down for fear of wrinkling the perfect cushions. You couldn't laugh too loudly for fear of disturbing the perfect silence. You couldn't bring in your muddy boots, your messy art projects, your crying child, your complicated relationships. In short, you couldn't bring your actual life into that room. That perfect room is not a home. It is a museum display. It is static, lifeless, and empty. Perfection, by its very nature, excludes life. Because life is messy. Life is change. Life is growth, decay, and rebirth. Life is fingerprints and wrinkles and laughter and tears. Life is imperfect. And therefore, to strive for perfection is to subtly, unconsciously be at war with life itself. The enemy you have been fighting is not your flaws, your mistakes, or your messy emotions. The enemy has been the shimmering, impossible idea of perfection. You have been told that this ghost is your salvation, when in reality, it is your captor. It has kept you locked in a cycle of striving and disappointment. It has whispered that you are not acceptable as you are, and you have believed it. But tonight, you are being invited to see through the illusion, to see the ghost for what it is, a beautiful, hollow idea that has no power over you unless you give it power. You can stop chasing it. You can turn your back on the unreachable horizon and turn your attention to the rich, fertile, imperfect ground right here beneath your feet. This ground is your actual life. It is the truth of who you are right now, in this moment. It is not flawless, but it is real. It is not perfect, but it is alive. And it is here, in the messy, beautiful reality of your own humanity, that true peace and belonging are found. Not in a distant, perfect city of light, but right here, in the gentle acceptance of this moment. The great chase is over. You don't have to run anymore. You can simply be here and let that be enough. As we sit with this realization that the perfection we've been chasing is a ghost, it can be tempting to feel a sense of regret or even anger at ourselves for having spent so much time and energy on a fruitless quest. A voice might whisper, "How could I have been so foolish?" But let's meet that thought with the same gentleness we are cultivating tonight. because there is a very deep and very human story behind this chase. Your desire for perfection was never a character flaw. It wasn't born from vanity or arrogance. It was born from the most tender, vulnerable, and universal of human needs. The need for safety, the need for love, and the need for belonging. This is not just your story. It is our story, the human story. To understand this is to begin to offer ourselves a profound and healing compassion. Let's travel back for a moment. Think about us as a species, as tiny, vulnerable beings born into a vast and often dangerous world. From our very first breath, our survival depends entirely on the care and approval of others. As a baby, if we are not accepted, if our needs are not met, we simply do not survive. So, deep in our most ancient, primal wiring, there is a fundamental equation. Acceptance equals survival. Rejection equals death. This isn't a dramatic exaggeration. It is the biological and psychological reality of our early development. We learn, at a cellular level, that we must figure out how to be acceptable to our caregivers. We learn to read their faces, to interpret their tones of voice, to sense their moods. We become exquisitely sensitive to what earns a smile and what earns a frown, what brings a warm embrace and what brings a cold distance. And so begins the great project of our lives, molding ourselves into a shape that we believe will guarantee love and connection. We see what is praised in our family or our culture. Perhaps it's being smart, or quiet, or strong, or helpful, and we try to become more of that. We see what is criticized or punished. Perhaps it's being too loud, too sensitive, too needy, too different, and we learn to hide or suppress those parts of ourselves. This isn't a conscious, cynical process. It is an innocent and brilliant survival strategy. We are creating a version of ourselves, a persona, a mask that we hope will be lovable enough, good enough to keep us safe in the tribe. The idea of perfection is simply the ultimate expression of this strategy. It is the perfect mask, the flawless persona. It is the belief that if we can just become completely unobjectionable, if we can eliminate every possible reason for someone to reject us, then we will finally be secure. We will finally be loved unconditionally. We will finally belong. Can you feel the deep, tender longing behind that? Can you see that the striving for perfection is not a cold, ambitious pursuit, but a heartfelt, desperate plea? It is the plea of a small child within us who is still trying to figure out the rules, still trying to be good enough to never be left alone. Your desire to be worthy is not wrong. It is the most natural thing in the world. It is a testament to your deep, innate drive for connection. You were not chasing perfection because you were flawed. You were chasing it because you are human. And you carry within you the same fundamental needs that every other human on this planet carries. This is a crucial shift in perspective. It moves the entire story from one of personal failing to one of shared humanity. You are not alone in this struggle. Far from it. As you lie here, listening in the quiet of your room, know that at this very same moment, millions upon millions of other people are lying awake, wrestling with the very same feelings of inadequacy. In houses down the street, in cities across the country, on continents across the world, people are replaying their mistakes, worrying about their flaws, and feeling the familiar, heavy weight of not being good enough. The specifics may be different. One person worries about their career, another about their parenting, another about their body, but the underlying feeling is identical. It is the universal ache of the human condition. The war you have been fighting inside yourself is not a private, shameful secret. It is the central, archetypal battle of being alive. To know this, to really let this sink in, is to feel a profound release. The feeling of being uniquely broken begins to dissolve. The isolation starts to melt away. You are not an exception. You are part of a vast global family of imperfect, striving, beautiful human beings, all doing their best to navigate this complicated journey of life. Let's validate your efforts for a moment. Think of all the energy you have poured into this project of self-improvement. The discipline, the willpower, the sheer determination. You have worked so hard to be a good person. You have tried to be kind, to be responsible, to be thoughtful. You have tried to learn from your mistakes. You have tried to overcome your weaknesses. None of that effort was wasted. It was all part of your journey. It was all driven by that deep, good, and innocent desire to be worthy of love. Let yourself feel a sense of respect and appreciation for that part of you, the part that has tried so incredibly hard. It has been a loyal and dedicated soldier, fighting for your safety and well-being in the only way it knew how. We are not dismissing its efforts. We are simply recognizing that the strategy it has been using is no longer serving you. It has led to exhaustion, not to the safety it promised. The truth that you are ready to hear now is that your belonging is not conditional. Your worth is not something you have to earn through perfect performance. It is inherent. It was there on the day you were born, and it will be there on the day you die. It is not dependent on your achievements, your appearance, or the approval of others. It simply is. This is a truth so simple and so profound that the mind, which is accustomed to the complex strategies of striving and earning, has a hard time grasping it. It feels too easy, too good to be true. But your heart knows it. Your body knows it. The deepest part of you knows that you don't have to perform to be loved. You just have to be. So, as you rest here, allow this understanding to wash over you. The long war for perfection was never a sign of your brokenness. It was a sign of your humanity. It was the expression of a universal search for safety and love. And by seeing it this way, we can finally lay down our arms, not with a sense of failure, but with a sense of profound compassion for ourselves and for every other person who shares this journey. We are all just trying to find our way home. And tonight, we realize that home is not a perfect destination we must strive to reach. It is a state of gentle acceptance that we can choose to inhabit right here, right now. Now, let's turn our attention to the feeling that brought us here tonight, that deep soul-level weariness. For so long, you have likely treated this exhaustion as yet another problem to be solved, another failure to overcome. You may have judged it as weakness, as laziness, or as a sign that you just aren't trying hard enough. The inner critic might say, "Why are you so tired? Look at everyone else. They seem to be managing just fine. You need to have more energy, more discipline." And so, you've tried to fight the tiredness, to push through it, to caffeinate it, to ignore it, treating it as an adversary. But tonight, we are going to do something radical. We are going to honor this exhaustion. We are going to welcome it, listen to it, and see it not as a weakness, but as a source of profound wisdom. This weariness is not your enemy. It is a messenger, a wise and loving friend who has traveled a very long way to bring you an urgent and important message. And the message is simple. Stop. The way you have been living, the war you have been fighting, is no longer sustainable. It is time to rest. It is time for a different way. Your body, in its infinite intelligence, knows when a strategy has run its course. It knows when the cost of a battle has become too high. And this deep fatigue is its signal, its white flag of surrender. It is not the surrender of defeat. It is the surrender of wisdom. It is the body's way of saying, I love you too much to let you continue down this painful path. So, for a few moments, give yourself complete and total permission to feel the full depth of your tiredness. Don't resist it. Don't judge it. Simply allow it to be. Let it wash over you like a heavy, warm blanket. Feel it in your muscles, that deep ache of long-held tension. Feel it behind your eyes, the strain from constantly scanning for threats and flaws. Feel it in your mind, the mental fatigue that comes from endless calculations of self-worth, from replaying conversations, from worrying about the future. Feel the emotional exhaustion of holding it all together, of pretending to be fine when you're not, of carrying the weight of your own and others' expectations. Let yourself sink into this feeling. It is real. It is valid. And you have every right to feel this way. You have spent so much of your life's precious energy trying to be acceptable. Think about the sheer volume of that energy. The energy it takes to monitor your every word, to second-guess your every decision. The energy it takes to maintain the mask of having it all together. The energy it takes to compare yourself to others and constantly come up short. The energy it takes to criticize yourself, to feel shame, and then to try and recover from that self-inflicted pain. It is the equivalent of trying to drive a car with the emergency brake on. You have to press the accelerator so much harder just to move forward, and the engine is under constant strain. Of course you are tired. It is the most logical, natural, and healthy response to the impossible task you have set for yourself. Your exhaustion is a sign of your sanity, not your weakness. It is proof that you have a sensitive, intelligent system that knows when it's being asked to do the impossible. Let's reframe this. Imagine a dedicated gardener who has been told that the only way to have a beautiful garden is to constantly pull at the plants, trying to make them grow faster, to straighten their stems, to wipe every speck of dust from their leaves. The gardener works from dawn until dusk, filled with anxiety, never feeling like the garden is good enough. They are constantly weeding, pruning, and measuring, fueled by a relentless drive for a perfectly flawless garden. After years of this, the gardener is utterly exhausted, collapsed on the ground, feeling like a failure because the garden is still, in its own way, wild and imperfect. But then, a wiser, older gardener comes along and says, "My friend, you are so tired because you have been fighting the nature of the garden. A garden doesn't need to be forced. It needs sunlight, it needs water, and it needs to be trusted to grow in its own time, in its own beautifully imperfect way. Your exhaustion is not a sign that you are a bad gardener. It is a sign that you are ready to learn a new way to tend to your garden, a way of trust, of patience, of gentle cooperation. Your body and soul are that garden, and your exhaustion is that wise signal, inviting you to stop pulling and forcing, and to start trusting and allowing. It is the moment you realize that your well-being doesn't come from more effort, but from less. It comes from surrender. It comes from rest. Acknowledging the cost of this inner war is a crucial part of honoring your exhaustion. The cost has not just been energy. The cost has been joy. The moments of spontaneous laughter you held back because you were worried about how you looked. The creative ideas you never pursued because you were afraid they wouldn't be perfect. The vulnerable connections you avoided because you were terrified of being seen in your imperfection. The simple, present moment pleasures you missed because you were lost in thought, planning your next self-improvement project. The cost has been your own aliveness. The pursuit of perfection, which promised to give you the perfect life, has been quietly stealing the real, messy, beautiful life that was available to you all along. When we hold this truth with compassion, the tiredness begins to change. It is no longer a heavy, oppressive burden. It becomes something softer, almost sacred. It is the holy exhaustion that comes at the end of a long, unnecessary struggle. It is the weariness of a soldier finally coming home from a war that should never have been fought. And in that homecoming, there is a profound sense of peace. You can finally set down your heavy pack. You can take off your muddy boots. You can just sit by the fire and be still. This is the invitation of your weariness. It is inviting you to come home to yourself, to rest in the unconditional acceptance of this present moment. It is asking you to stop trying to be a perfect, flawless statue, and to allow yourself to be a living, breathing, beautifully imperfect human being. So, as you continue to rest here, let this new understanding of your exhaustion settle deep into your bones. It is not a problem. It is a guide. It is not a failure. It is a message of love from the deepest part of you. Let yourself be grateful for this message. Thank your body for its wisdom, for its resilience, and for its clear and unwavering signal that it is time for a truce. You have listened. You have heard the message. And now, you are answering its call by allowing yourself this deep, profound, and well-earned rest. There is nothing more you need to do. Simply rest in the truth that your exhaustion is a sacred doorway into a kinder, more gentle way of being. And so, having honored the wisdom in your weariness, we arrive at the heart of tonight's truce. It is one thing to understand the battle, to see the phantom enemy, and to acknowledge the cost. It is another, more profound, step to actually lay down the weapons. This is not a step to be taken with force or with grim determination. This is an act of gentle, conscious surrender. It is an invitation, not a command. And so, right now, in the safety and quiet of this space, I am extending a formal invitation to you on behalf of the wisest, kindest part of your own being. You are hereby granted explicit and unconditional permission to declare a ceasefire for your soul. Just for this night, you do not need to solve the rest of your life. You do not need to commit to being a different person tomorrow. The only commitment is to this present moment, to this breath, to this night. For the hours that stretch between now and the morning light, you are officially relieved of duty. The duty to be perfect, the duty to improve, the duty to judge yourself, the duty to worry, the duty to figure it all out. Consider this a sacred amnesty. All self-criticism is pardoned. All perceived flaws are granted asylum. All past mistakes are forgiven. For this night, you are living in a sovereign state of grace, a sanctuary where the old laws of self-judgment do not apply. Let this permission sink in. Feel the resonance of it in your body. It might feel unfamiliar, even a little strange. The soldier within, so accustomed to the state of high alert, might feel restless. It might ask, but if I stop fighting, what will happen? Who will be in charge? Won't everything fall apart? These are valid questions born of long habit, and we can answer them with gentle reassurance. Thank you for your concern. We can say to that part of ourselves, you have been a vigilant guardian, but for tonight, we are trying a new way, a way of trust. We are going to see what happens when we are guided not by fear, but by peace, just for tonight. Now, let's make this release tangible. Let's translate this idea of a ceasefire into a felt, physical experience. Words and intentions are powerful, but the body is where we truly store our tensions and our histories. So let's guide the body, piece by piece, out of its defensive crouch and into a state of profound peace. Bring your awareness to your hands. Throughout the day, our hands are busy doing, grasping, controlling, fixing. Even in rest, they can remain clenched, holding on to the phantom tensions of the day. Without any force, simply bring the image of release to your hands. Imagine them softening from the inside out. Visualize each finger uncurling, the palm opening, the muscles in the back of your hand letting go. Imagine you are setting down a heavy, invisible stone that you have been carrying in each hand. As you set it down, feel the immediate lightness, the warmth and tingling sensation of energy flowing freely again. These are your hands at peace, no longer weapons or tools, but simply parts of your body, resting. Now, move that awareness up to your shoulders. This is the classic place where we carry our burdens, the place where we armor ourselves against the world. The phrase shouldering responsibility is a physical reality for so many of us. Right now, visualize the armor you've been wearing. Perhaps it's a heavy metal plate or a thick leather cloak. It has served you, protecting you, but it is also incredibly heavy. And now, you are giving yourself permission to take it off. With a slow, deep exhale, imagine the buckles unfastening. Feel the weight begin to lift. Imagine the armor sliding off your shoulders, falling away to the floor with a soft, muffled thud. And in its place, feel the air on your skin. Feel the lightness, the freedom of movement. Allow your shoulders to drop down, away from your ears, settling into a natural state of rest. Feel the space it creates in your neck and your upper back. This is the feeling of being unburdened. Let this sensation of release travel to your face, to your jaw, to the muscles around your mouth. We so often hold a brave face for the world, a mask of composure and capability. This requires a subtle but constant tension in the facial muscles. Tonight, the performance is over. No one is watching. You can let the mask dissolve. Feel the muscles around your mouth soften. Allow your lips to part slightly. Let your tongue rest gently in the bottom of your mouth. Feel your cheeks release. Imagine your entire face becoming smooth, open, and serene, like the surface of a perfectly still lake at midnight. This is your true face, the face you have when you are not trying to be anything for anyone. It is a face of pure being. And now, bring this attention to your breath and your belly. When we are in a state of fight or flight, our breathing becomes shallow and our core muscles tighten, bracing for impact. Let's consciously reverse that now. With your next exhale, make a quiet sighing sound, an audible release of air. Ha. Do it again. Let the sound carry out the tension from your chest and your solar plexus. And as you do, invite your belly to become completely soft. Let it go. For many of us, especially in a culture that values flat stomachs, letting the belly be soft and relaxed is a radical act of self-acceptance. But this softness is your body's natural state of rest and digestion. It is a sign of safety. So allow your belly to rise and fall with your breath, a gentle, rhythmic ocean of peace at your core. With each piece of armor you release, with each muscle you allow to soften, take a moment to notice the effect. What do you feel? You might notice a deep sense of quiet descending, both inside and out. It's the quiet that comes after a loud noise has stopped. For years, the noise of the inner battle has been the background track to your life, the constant hum of self-judgment, the static of anxiety. You may have become so used to it that you didn't even notice it was there. But now, in its absence, you can feel the silence. And it is a rich, nourishing silence. It is not an empty silence. It is a silence full of potential. It is the peace of the battlefield after the truce has been signed. The soldiers have laid down their arms and are looking up at the stars for the first time in a long time, remembering that there is a vast, beautiful universe beyond their small conflict. This is the immediate relief, the instant reward of the ceasefire. You don't have to wait for it. It is here now, the peace that comes from simply stopping the fight. There is nothing to achieve, nowhere to get to. The practice is just this: noticing the tension and gently, kindly letting it go. Noticing the armor and piece by piece, setting it aside. Resting in the quiet that remains. This is the profound and simple act of coming home to your body, of making peace with your own heart, just for tonight. As the quiet of the ceasefire deepens, a new space opens up within us, a space of safety and stillness. And into this safe space, we can gently invite some of the feelings that we normally keep locked away, hidden even from ourselves. One of the heaviest burdens we carry, one of the primary reasons we strive so hard for perfection, is the fear of our own shame. Shame is that raw, painful feeling of being fundamentally flawed, of being unworthy of connection. It's the voice that whispers, if people really knew who I am, they would be disgusted, they would leave. It thrives in secrecy and silence. But tonight, in this sanctuary of unconditional acceptance, we can begin to gently approach it, not to wrestle with it, but to allow it to be seen in a soft, compassionate light. Shame is not a single, simple feeling. It is a complex knot of emotions. It's the sting of embarrassment over a mistake we made. It's the deep ache of regret for a time we hurt someone. It's the slow, burning humiliation of not living up to our own or others' expectations. It's the feeling of being an imposter, of being fundamentally different and less than everyone else. We carry these feelings like secret stones in our pockets, their weight and sharp edges, a constant private reminder of our perceived failures. We build the entire fortress of perfectionism to hide these stones, to ensure no one ever gets close enough to see them or feel their weight. The tragic irony is that this fortress, designed to protect us from the pain of disconnection, is the very thing that keeps us isolated, locked away with our secret shame. So, let's begin the process of unburdening. This is not about forcing yourself to feel anything you're not ready to feel. It is a gentle invitation. Start by acknowledging, just to yourself, the existence of this weight. You don't need to name every specific incident or flaw that it's attached to. Simply recognize the feeling itself, the heavy, dense energy of not being good enough. See if you can locate it in your body. Does it sit in your chest? A heavy pressure that makes it hard to breathe? Does it live in your stomach? A cold, knotted feeling? Does it make you want to curl up, to make yourself small? and invisible. Just notice where it resides, without judgment. This simple act of noticing is an act of courage and compassion. You are turning toward a feeling you have spent a lifetime turning away from, and you are doing so from a place of strength and safety. Now, let's engage in a gentle act of release. Imagine that this heavy weight of not being good enough has a physical form. Perhaps it truly is a collection of dark, heavy stones. Or maybe it's a thick, viscous sludge that is settled in your core. It could be a tight, thorny vine wrapped around your heart. Whatever image comes to mind, just go with it. See it clearly, but gently. And now, let's imagine a process of dissolution. Imagine a soft, warm, golden light beginning to glow from the very center of your being. This light is the light of your own innate goodness, your own unshakable worthiness. It is a light of pure acceptance. And as this light begins to expand, it touches the edges of that heavy shame. And wherever it touches, the shame begins to dissolve. It doesn't fight back. It doesn't resist. It simply yields to the gentle power of this light. See the heavy stones turning into fine dust, which is then carried away on a soft breeze. See the thick sludge thinning out, becoming clear water, and then evaporating into a clean, fresh mist. See the thorny vine loosening its grip, its thorns softening into leaves, and then dissolving into particles of light. Another way to visualize this is with the image of water. Imagine you are standing under a gentle, warm waterfall. This is not a harsh, pounding torrent, but a soft, steady flow of cleansing, healing water. And this water is the water of self-compassion. As it flows over your head and down your body, it begins to wash away the accumulated layers of shame and self-judgment. Feel it washing over your mind, clearing out the looping, critical thoughts. Feel it flowing through your heart, soothing the old aches of regret and inadequacy. Feel it moving through your entire body, washing away the tension and heaviness stored in your cells. Watch as the water running off you is initially dark and murky, carrying away all that old pain. But gradually, it begins to run clearer and clearer until finally it is perfectly clean and pure. You are not getting rid of a part of you. You are simply cleansing yourself of what was never truly yours to carry. Shame is a learned burden. It is not an innate part of who you are, and you can learn to set it down. Think of it this way. It's like you've been wearing a heavy, wet, woolen coat for years, day and night. You've worn it for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to not be wearing it. You've grown accustomed to the weight, the dampness, the constricted movement. You might even have come to believe that the coat is part of your body, that its heaviness is your heaviness. But tonight, you realize for the first time that it is just a coat, and you can take it off. This act of release, of letting the shame dissolve, is the feeling of unbuttoning that coat, shrugging it off your shoulders, and letting it fall to the floor. And the feeling that follows is one of incredible lightness, a freedom you may not have felt since you were a very small child, before you learned the rules of being good enough. It's a feeling of spaciousness in your chest, of ease in your belly, of quiet in your mind. It is the simple, profound relief of no longer carrying a burden you were never meant to carry. This is not a one-time event. Unburdening the heart is a practice, a gentle and ongoing process of release. Some layers of shame may be old and deep, and they will dissolve over time with continued kindness and attention. The goal for tonight is not to be completely free of all shame forever. The goal is simply to experience the possibility of release, to know, in your body and your heart, what it feels like to be a little bit lighter, to create a new neural pathway, a new memory of letting go, so that the next time you feel the familiar weight of shame, a part of you will remember this night. It will remember the golden light, the cleansing water, the feeling of the heavy coat falling away, and it will know that you do not have to carry that weight. It will know that release is possible. As you rest here now, bask in this feeling of lightness, in this new, open space within your heart, a space that is not filled with striving or fear, but with a quiet, gentle peace, a space where you are free to simply be yourself, unburdened and at ease. Having unburdened your heart, even just a little, let's now turn our attention back to the idea of perfection itself. We've seen it as a ghost, an unreachable horizon. But now, from this lighter, more compassionate place, we can look at it from another angle. We can begin to see it not just as an illusion, but as a prison. A beautifully decorated, socially acceptable prison, but a prison nonetheless. For so long, you have believed that achieving perfection was the key to your freedom. You believed that once you were flawless, you would finally be free from anxiety, free from criticism, free from the fear of rejection. It seemed like the ultimate escape plan. But what if the opposite is true? What if the relentless pursuit of perfection has been the very thing that has kept you trapped? Let's examine the bars of this prison cell. They are not made of iron, but of fear. The fear of making a mistake, the fear of being judged, the fear of being seen as you truly are, the fear of not being in control. These fears dictate so many of your choices, both big and small. Think about it. How many times have you not started something new, a hobby, a project, a class, because you were afraid you wouldn't be good at it right away? The prison of perfection whispers, if you can't do it perfectly, don't do it at all. And so, it robs you of the joy of being a beginner, the pleasure of clumsy learning, the excitement of exploration. It keeps you on the well-trodden ground of what you already know you can do well, preventing you from discovering vast new territories within yourself. How many times have you held back from speaking your true thoughts in a conversation, editing and censoring yourself for fear of saying the wrong thing? The prison of perfection insists on a flawless script, a perfectly articulated opinion. And so, it silences your authentic voice. It prevents you from engaging in the messy, spontaneous, and deeply connecting dance of real human dialogue. It keeps you trapped in a small, safe monologue inside your own head, while life's rich conversation happens without you. How many times have you avoided intimacy or vulnerability, refusing to let someone see the parts of you that you've deemed messy or unacceptable? The prison of perfection demands that you present a polished, curated version of yourself at all times. And so, it keeps you from experiencing the profound and healing power of being truly seen and loved for all of who you are, not just the good parts. It promises connection, but creates a profound and painful isolation. The prison is decorated to look like a palace. It has the beautiful wallpaper of achievement, the gleaming floors of discipline, and the elegant furniture of self-control. From the outside, it can look admirable, even enviable. People might praise you for your high standards, your dedication, your ability to keep it all together. But you know the truth. You know the constant, exhausting effort it takes to maintain this facade. You know the ever-present anxiety of a crack appearing in the wall, of a scuff mark on the floor. You know the deep loneliness of living in a beautiful room where you can never truly relax, where you are both the prisoner and the relentless warden, pacing the halls, checking for imperfections. It is a life lived in a state of high-stakes performance, and it is utterly draining. The freedom you have been seeking lies not in perfecting the prison, but in recognizing that the door has been unlocked the entire time. The key is not more effort, but more acceptance. The moment you are willing to be imperfect, the bars begin to dissolve. The moment you give yourself permission to make a mistake, you can walk out into the wide-open field of learning and growth. The moment you are willing to be awkward and uncertain, you can join the dance of real connection. The moment you are willing to be vulnerable, you can experience the deep belonging you have always craved. The freedom is not on the other side of perfection. The freedom is in the letting go of perfection as a goal. There is a powerful affirmation that can help with this shift in perspective. Let it settle into your heart as you lie here. My wholeness is far more beautiful than perfection could ever be. Let's unpack that for a moment. Perfection is a state of exclusion. It is about cutting away, hiding, and denying all the parts of yourself that don't fit the ideal. It is a process of reduction, of making yourself smaller, purer, and ultimately less human. Wholeness, on the other hand, is a state of inclusion. It is about embracing all of who you are, the light and the shadow, the strengths and the weaknesses, the confidence and the fear, the joy and the sorrow. It is about acknowledging that you are a vast, complex, and multifaceted being. Your flaws are not mistakes to be corrected. They are part of the rich texture of your humanity. Your scars are not signs of damage, but evidence of your resilience. Your messy emotions are not a sign of instability, but a sign that you are alive and engaged with the world. Perfection is a static, finished state. It is a dead end. There is no room for growth, no potential for change. Wholeness is dynamic and alive. It is a continuous process of becoming, of learning, of integrating all of your experiences into a richer, deeper sense of self. It is a journey, not a destination. To choose wholeness over perfection is to choose the adventure of a real life over the sterile safety of a prison cell. It is to choose the beauty of a wild, unique, and unpredictable garden over a perfectly manicured but lifeless plastic lawn. It is a radical act of self-love and a profound declaration of freedom. It is saying to yourself and to the world, I am willing to be seen in my entirety. I am willing to be a work in progress. I am enough right now in all my glorious, messy human wholeness. As you rest here, let go of the image of the perfect, flawless you. Let that static, lifeless statue crumble into dust, and in its place, feel the vibrant, dynamic, and breathing reality of your whole self. Feel your own heartbeat, a steady, imperfect rhythm. Feel the rise and fall of your breath, a testament to your aliveness. Feel the full spectrum of your being, with no part of you left out or cast aside. All of it is welcome. All of it belongs. This is your true nature. Not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. Not a prison to be perfected, but a vast and beautiful landscape to be explored. And in this wholeness, you will find the peace, the freedom, and the deep, authentic belonging that perfection could only ever promise, but never deliver. As we let the prison of perfection dissolve, a new landscape opens before us. For so long, our inner compass has been oriented toward a single, fixed point on the horizon: perfection. Now that we see that point for the illusion it is, we need a new star to navigate by, a new value to guide us home. Let's call this new value authenticity. If perfection is about presenting a flawless, edited version of yourself, authenticity is about having the courage to be real. It is the practice of letting who you are on the inside align with who you are on the outside. It is not about being messy for the sake of being messy, or broadcasting every thought and feeling without filter. It is a much quieter, more profound quality. It is the simple, grounded integrity of being yourself, without apology and without performance. This shift from perfection to authenticity is one of the most important journeys we can take in our lives. It is the journey from striving to being, from hiding to showing up, from self-rejection to self-acceptance. And at the heart of this journey is a radical reinterpretation of what we have always called our flaws. In the world of perfectionism, our imperfections, our mistakes, our vulnerabilities, our scars, our quirks, are evidence of our failure. They are the things we must hide at all costs. They are the sources of our deepest shame. But in the world of authenticity, these very same things become something entirely different. They become the portals to genuine human connection. Think about the people you feel most comfortable with in your life, the friends you can truly relax around, the family members you feel truly at home with. What is it about them that creates that feeling of safety and ease? Is it their flawless perfection? Is it that they never make mistakes, never have a bad day, never show a moment of weakness? Of course not. In fact, it's the opposite. The people we trust the most are the ones who have let us see their imperfections. The friend who admits they are struggling and feeling overwhelmed. The parent who apologizes for losing their temper. The partner who can laugh at their own embarrassing mistake. It is their willingness to be real, not their ability to be perfect, that makes them feel safe. Their vulnerability gives us permission to be vulnerable. Their imperfections create a common ground of shared humanity. We don't connect to people's curated highlight reels. We connect to their messy, behind-the-scenes reality. Our flaws are not barriers to connection. They are the bridges. When you try to present a perfect image of yourself, you create an invisible wall between you and others. People may admire you. They may be impressed by you, but they can't truly connect with you. They can't find a foothold on that smooth, polished surface. They sense, consciously or not, that they are not seeing the real person. This creates a subtle distance, a feeling of unease. But when you have the courage to show a little of your own imperfection, to say, "I don't know," or "I made a mistake," or "I'm feeling scared," you are sending a powerful signal. You are saying, "I am human, just like you. I am not a threat. It is safe to be real with me." You are opening a door. You are extending an invitation for another person to lay down their own armor and meet you in a place of shared, authentic humanity. This is where real intimacy is born, not in the mutual admiration of two perfect facades, but in the mutual recognition of two beautifully imperfect souls. There is a beautiful Japanese art form called kintsugi, which means golden joinery. When a piece of pottery, a bowl, a cup, a vase, is broken, it is not thrown away. Instead, the pieces are carefully reassembled, and the cracks are mended with a lacquer mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. The philosophy behind this art is that the object is not only repaired, but it is now more beautiful and more valuable because it was broken. The lines of golden repair become part of the object's history, a testament to its resilience. The breakage is not something to be hidden or disguised. It is highlighted, celebrated, and transformed into the most beautiful feature of the piece. Kintsugi teaches that breakage and repair are part of the life of an object, not an end to it. It honors the journey, the history, the imperfection. You are like that piece of pottery. You have been broken. You have been cracked by life, by loss, by your own mistakes, by the inevitable challenges of being human. And for so long, you have been trying to hide those cracks. You have been trying to pretend you are a perfect, unbroken vessel. You have felt shame for your broken places. But the practice of authenticity, the art of living a wholehearted life, is to become a kintsugi master of your own soul. It is to learn to see the cracks not as flaws, but as your own unique lines of golden repair. It is to understand that the wisdom, the compassion, the resilience, and the depth of character you possess have been forged in those very places where you were broken and have healed. Your capacity to love others is deepened by the times your own heart has been broken. Your compassion for those who are struggling is born from the memory of your own struggles. Your strength is not measured by your ability to avoid being broken, but by your courage in putting yourself back together again and again. So, as you rest here, imagine tracing the lines of your own life story, the mistakes you've made, the times you've fallen short, the vulnerabilities you've tried so hard to hide. And imagine filling those cracks not with shame or judgment, but with liquid gold. The gold of self-acceptance, the gold of wisdom gained through experience, the gold of a compassionate heart that knows what it is to be human. See yourself not as a damaged object, but as a unique and precious work of art, made more beautiful by your own unique history. Your wholeness includes your brokenness. Your beauty includes your scars. This is the profound shift from the aesthetic of perfection to the aesthetic of authenticity. It is a quieter, deeper, more resilient kind of beauty. It is the beauty of being real. And it is a beauty that is available to you at any moment, simply by choosing to honor the truth of who you are and the journey that has shaped you. There is nothing to fix. There are only stories to be honored and cracks to be filled with gold. Following this golden thread of kintsugi, let's journey even deeper into our own past, into the landscape of our memories. For the perfectionist, looking back can be a painful exercise. The mind often acts like a relentless prosecutor, calling up a highlight reel of every mistake, every embarrassing moment, every failure. The past becomes a vast library of evidence used to prove the case for our own inadequacy. Each memory of a time we fell short is held up as Exhibit A in the trial against our self-worth. It's a biased and brutal form of history, one that focuses only on the cracks and ignores the vessel itself. But tonight, we will approach our history not as a prosecutor, but as a kind and curious historian seeking to understand the full story. We are not looking for evidence of failure, but for proof of resilience. Let's gently call to mind a time in your past that you have long labeled as a mistake. It could be a career choice that didn't work out, a relationship that ended badly, a time you acted out of fear or anger in a way you later regretted. Choose one memory that often comes back to haunt you, one that still carries a sting of shame or regret. And as it arises, your first instinct might be to flinch, to turn away, to start the familiar litany of self-criticism. But this time, just for now, see if you can stay with it. Hold it gently in your awareness, like you would hold a fragile, frightened bird in your hands. Don't judge it. Don't analyze it. Just let it be here, in this safe space. You are not the same person who lived through that experience. You are here now with more wisdom, more perspective, and a growing capacity for self-compassion. You are strong enough to look back with kindness. Now, let's re-examine this memory, this supposed failure, with new eyes. Instead of focusing on what you did wrong, let's ask a different set of questions. First, what did you survive? Look at the pain, the confusion, the difficulty of that time. And then look at yourself, here now. You made it through. You are still here. That event, which may have felt devastating at the time, did not destroy you. The simple fact of your survival is a testament to a strength you may have never given yourself credit for. You endured. You healed. You kept going. Acknowledge this first. Honor the sheer resilience of your own life force, your own spirit. That survival is not a small thing. It is the foundation of all wisdom. Next, let's ask, what did you learn? Every so-called mistake is a powerful, if painful, teacher. That difficult experience taught you something that an easy success never could have. Perhaps that failed relationship taught you what you truly need and value in a partner. It may have revealed your own patterns of relating, giving you the clarity needed to form healthier connections in the future. Perhaps that career misstep taught you about your true passions or your limits, guiding you toward a path with more meaning. Perhaps that moment of regret taught you the profound importance of integrity or forgiveness. Hidden within the heart of every painful memory is a seed of wisdom. Your task now is not to berate yourself for needing the lesson, but to honor the lesson itself. See that experience not as a stain on your record, but as a crucial part of your curriculum. You were a student in the school of life, and that was a difficult but necessary class. You graduated from it with a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. That wisdom is now woven into the fabric of who you are. It is part of your strength. And finally, let's ask the most compassionate question of all. What was the innocent, unmet need that was driving your actions at that time? We rarely act out of a desire to be malicious or to fail. We almost always act out of a desperate attempt to meet a legitimate human need. The need for safety, for love, for approval, for control, for relief from pain. Look back at the younger version of you in that memory. See them not as a bad or stupid person, but as someone who was doing the best they could with the awareness, the resources, and the emotional tools they had at that moment. Perhaps they were driven by a deep fear of being abandoned or a profound sense of insecurity. Perhaps they were exhausted, overwhelmed, or in the grip of an old, unconscious pattern. Can you feel a sense of compassion for that person? Can you see their struggle, their innocent intention, their human frailty? Can you offer them the understanding that they probably never received from anyone else, least of all from you? From your wiser, more grounded perspective now, you can look back and offer that younger self a silent reassurance. I understand. You were doing the best you could. You were just trying to feel safe. It's okay. We learned from this. We are safe now. This practice of revisiting our history with compassion is transformative. It changes our scars from marks of shame into maps of our journey. Each scar tells a story. Here is where I fell. And here is where I learned to get back up. Here is where my heart was broken. And here is where I learned its incredible capacity to heal. Here is where I was lost. And here is where I found a new and unexpected path. Your history is not a liability. It is your unique and irreplaceable source of strength. Everything you have survived, everything you have learned, every piece of compassion you have gained for yourself and others through your own struggles. This is the bedrock of your character. It is what makes you, you. A person of depth, of resilience, of wisdom. A person who can genuinely connect with others in their pain because you know the territory yourself. The perfectionist lives in fear of acquiring scars. The wholehearted person understands that a life fully lived will inevitably leave its marks. And these marks are not to be mourned, but to be honored. Let this new affirmation settle within you. Everything I have survived has become a part of my strength. Feel the truth of it. All the times you thought you were breaking were actually moments of forging. You were being tempered in the fires of life, becoming stronger, more flexible, more resilient. The self you are today is a direct result of everything you have walked through. And the self you are today is worthy of respect, of kindness, of love. So let go of the old story that your past is a record of your failures. Begin to read it as the epic saga of your survival, the beautiful and complex tale of how you became the strong, wise, and compassionate person who is lying here, breathing in this very moment. Your past is not a weight that holds you back. It is the deep root system that holds you steady, allowing you to reach ever higher toward the light. We have walked a long way tonight on this inner journey. We have quieted the battlefield, seen through the illusion of perfection, unburdened our hearts, and honored the strength in our scars. And now, we arrive at the practice that ties all of this together, the active ingredient in this healing balm. It is the simple, yet revolutionary, act of offering yourself kindness. We call this self-compassion. For many of us, this is the most foreign and difficult part of the entire journey. We often know how to be compassionate to others. When a dear friend comes to us, hurting and full of self-doubt after making a mistake, we know exactly what to do. We don't berate them. We don't list their other faults. We don't tell them they are a terrible person. No. We soften our voice. We open our heart. We listen without judgment. We might say things like, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You're only human. This doesn't change how I feel about you. You did the best you could." We offer them our presence, our reassurance, and our unconditional acceptance. We create a safe harbor for them to feel their pain and to begin to heal. We instinctively know that kindness, not criticism, is the medicine they need. And yet, when we ourselves are the ones who have made the mistake, when we are the ones hurting, what do? We unleash the inner critic. We berate ourselves with a harshness we would never dream of directing at anyone else, let alone a friend we love. We become the opposite of a safe harbor. We become the storm. This disconnect is one of the most profound and painful paradoxes of the human experience. We deny ourselves the very medicine we so freely and wisely offer to others. The practice of self-compassion is about closing this gap. It is about learning to turn that same kind, gentle, and understanding attention inward. It is about becoming your own dear friend. Within you, right now, there already exists a compassionate voice, You've used it countless times for others. It is a natural part of your being. It may have just been dormant or silent when it comes to your own suffering. Our task tonight is simply to awaken it, to invite it to speak to you. So, let's try a small experiment. Bring to mind, once again, a small recent moment where you felt you fell short. Maybe you were impatient with someone, or you procrastinated on a task, or you said something you regret. Feel the familiar sting of self-judgment that arises. Notice the harsh tone of the inner critic as it begins its familiar commentary. And now, imagine that it was not you, but your dearest friend who had this exact same experience. Imagine they are calling you on the phone, their voice full of shame and self-recrimination, telling you what they did. What would you say to them? Take a moment and really listen. What words would you use? What tone would your voice take? Feel the warmth and kindness that would naturally flow from you toward them. You would validate their feelings. You would normalize their experience. You would remind them of their inherent goodness. Now, see if you can gently offer those same words, that same tone, that same feeling to yourself. It might feel awkward or insincere at first. That's okay. The neural pathways of self-criticism are deep and well-worn. We are creating a new path, and it takes time and practice. You might try placing a hand gently over your heart. This simple physical gesture can be surprisingly powerful. It activates the mammalian caregiving system, releasing soothing hormones like oxytocin. It is a physical signal to your body that you are in the presence of care, of safety. With your hand on your heart, you can silently whisper some of these kind words to yourself. It's okay. You're having a hard time. It's understandable that you feel this way. This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is a part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment. You are worthy of the same kindness you so freely give to others. This last affirmation is particularly important. Let it sink in. You are worthy of the same kindness you so freely give to others. It is a declaration of your equal standing in the circle of life. It affirms that your pain matters just as much as anyone else's. Your struggles are just as deserving of a compassionate response. Self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook or making excuses. This is a common misunderstanding. People fear that if they are kind to themselves, they will become lazy or complacent. But research shows the exact opposite is true. Self-criticism, by activating our threat defense system, actually puts us in a state of fight or flight, which makes it harder to learn, to change, and to see clearly. It floods our system with cortisol and adrenaline, leading to anxiety and depression, which are paralyzing, not motivating. Self-compassion, on the other hand, creates a state of safety and security. It calms the nervous system. From this place of inner safety, we are much more capable of seeing our mistakes clearly, of taking responsibility for them, and of finding the motivation to do better next time. The motivation that comes from self-compassion is not driven by fear or shame, but by a genuine desire to be happy and well. It is a far more sustainable and effective motivator than self-flagellation. Kindness is not a reward for good behavior. It is the necessary condition for growth and healing to occur at all. Think of it like teaching a child to ride a bike. If every time the child wobbles and falls, you scream at them, call them a failure, and tell them they'll never get it right, what will happen? The child will become terrified of the bike, terrified of falling, and terrified of you. they will likely give up. But if, when they fall, you rush over, help them up, check if they're okay, and say, "That was a good try." Falling is part of learning. "Let's try again." The child feels safe. They understand that falling is not a catastrophe. They are motivated to get back on and keep practicing. Self-compassion is treating yourself like that wise and loving parent. It is understanding that you, too, are always learning. Learning how to be a person, how to love, how to work, how to live. And you will wobble, and you will fall. It is an inevitable part of the process. Self-compassion is the practice of always being there to help yourself back up, to dust yourself off, and to encourage yourself to try again, with kindness and with love. So, as you continue to rest in this deep peace, let this be your central practice. Notice any remaining tendrils of self-judgment, and meet them not with more judgment, but with the gentle, transformative power of kindness. Let the inner voice of compassion become the new default setting in your mind. Let its warmth permeate every cell of your being. This is the ultimate act of coming home to yourself. It is the end of the inner war, not through a decisive victory, but through a radical and unconditional peace treaty, signed with the gentle ink of self-compassion. You are worthy of this peace. You are worthy of this kindness. You always have been. As the practice of self-compassion settles in your heart, like soft rain on dry earth, we arrive at the core truth that all of these steps have been leading us toward. It is a truth so simple, it can feel radical. It is the deep, cellular integration of the feeling that you are enough, right now, as you are. Not when you lose the weight, not when you get the promotion, not when you finally fix all your flaws, not when everyone likes and approves of you, but right here, in this bed, in this body, in this imperfect, beautiful human life, you are enough. For most of our lives, we have operated under a powerful and painful illusion, the belief that our worth is conditional. We have believed that worthiness is something outside of us, something that must be earned, achieved, and proven over and over again. It is the grand prize at the end of the exhausting obstacle course of self-improvement. We have coupled our sense of worth to our performance. So, on a good day, when we are productive, when we are praised, when we feel we have met our own high standards, we might allow ourselves a fleeting feeling of worthiness. But on a bad day, when we make a mistake, when we feel lazy, when we are criticized, that feeling of worth vanishes, and we are plunged back into the familiar territory of inadequacy. This makes our inner life a volatile and exhausting roller coaster, completely dependent on external circumstances and our own fluctuating performance. It is a life of profound instability. Tonight, we are invited to perform a sacred and revolutionary act, to uncouple our worth from our performance, to sever that link once and for all. This is not just an intellectual idea. It is a shift in the very foundation of your being. It is the realization that your worth is not a variable. It is a constant. It is your birthright. It is an intrinsic, unshakable quality of your existence, as fundamental as the fact that you are breathing. You do not have to earn the right to breathe. You just breathe. In the same way, you do not have to earn the right to be worthy. You just are. Let's use an analogy. Think of the sun. The sun's worth is its sunness, its heat, its light, its gravitational pull. It shines because that is its nature. On a cloudy day, we on Earth cannot see the sun or feel its warmth as strongly. But does that mean the sun has stopped shining? Does it mean the sun has become less worthy, less powerful? Of course not. The sun is still there, in its full glory, shining unconditionally. The clouds are just a temporary, localized weather pattern obscuring our view. Your inherent worth is like the sun. Your performance, your moods, your mistakes, the opinions of others. These are like the clouds. They are temporary weather patterns that pass through the sky of your life. They can sometimes obscure your view of your own light, and they can make you feel disconnected from it. But they can never, ever diminish the sun itself. It is always there, shining with a steady, unconditional light. The practice is to remember that you are the sun, not the weather. Your job is not to try and control the clouds, but to remember the constant radiant sun that exists behind them. Let the feeling of this truth sink deep into your bones. It's one thing to hear the words, "I am enough." It's another to feel it. So let's invite that feeling into your body. As you lie here, breathing gently, repeat this phrase silently to yourself. My worth is my birthright. It does not need to be earned. Say it again, slowly. My worth is my birthright. It does not need to be earned. And as you say it, notice what happens in your body. You might feel a subtle sense of release in your chest, a softening in your belly, a quietness in your mind. You are letting go of the heaviest burden of all, the burden of having to prove yourself. Imagine the incredible amount of energy that is freed up when you no longer have to spend it on the endless project of proving your worth. That is energy that becomes available for loving, for creating, for learning, for resting, for simply enjoying the miracle of being alive. This uncoupling of worth from performance changes everything. It means that you can make a mistake and still be worthy. You can have a difficult day, feel unproductive, and still be worthy. You can be rejected by someone and still be worthy. Someone can disapprove of you and still be worthy. Your worth is no longer a fragile thing that can be shattered by a single misstep or a harsh word. It becomes an unshakable inner foundation, a sanctuary, a place of deep and abiding peace that no external event can ever truly touch. From this foundation, you can engage with life with a new kind of freedom and courage. You can take risks, knowing that even if you fail, your core sense of self will remain intact. You can be vulnerable, knowing that even if you are not met with the response you hoped for, your worth is not on the line. You can receive criticism without being devastated by it, because you know that it is feedback about your actions, not a final verdict on your soul. This is the deep rest that your soul has been longing for, the rest that comes from no longer having to be on trial. The jury is dismissed. The verdict is in, and it was decided on the day you were born. You are worthy. Case closed. There is nothing left to prove. Can you feel the profound peace in that? The quiet that descends when the need to justify your own existence finally falls away? It is the end of the war, not just for tonight, but for good. The central conflict that has driven all the striving and all the self-judgment has been resolved. The premise of the war, that your worthiness was in question, has been revealed to be false. You were fighting a battle that was already won. So as you drift now, in this state of deep peace, let this truth be the lullaby that sings you to sleep. Let it be the gentle current that carries you into the depths of restorative rest. With every breath, you are breathing in the truth of your own inherent, unconditional worth. With every exhale, you are releasing the old, exhausting lie that you had to earn it. You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. There is nothing you need to do to complete yourself, because you are already whole. There is nowhere you need to get to, because you have already arrived. Welcome home. Rest in the unshakable, peaceful, and liberating truth of your own enoughness. As we rest here, cradled in the profound peace of our own enoughness, let's gently turn our gaze toward the morning that will come. Sleep is not just an ending to this day, but a sacred preparation for the next. And in this fertile, quiet space between waking and sleeping, we can plant a seed of intention for the person we will be when we wake. This is not about making a rigid, demanding resolution. We are done with those. This is something far gentler. It is like placing a single, hopeful seed into the rich, dark soil of the subconscious mind, trusting that it will be nurtured during the night and will begin to sprout in the morning light. The seed we are planting tonight is the seed of a gentler morning, an intention to meet yourself tomorrow with a little more of the acceptance and a little less of the judgment that we have cultivated here. Let's visualize what that might look like. Imagine the first moments of your awareness as you drift up from sleep. In the past, perhaps that first moment was often hijacked by an anxious thought, a to-do list, or a subtle, free-floating feeling of pressure. The inner critic often reports for duty the moment our eyes open, ready with its daily briefing on all the ways we need to strive and improve. But tomorrow, let's imagine something different. Imagine that your first conscious thought is one of simple, gentle presence. Before you even think about the day ahead, you simply feel yourself here. You feel the warmth of the bed, the softness of the pillow. You notice the quality of the light in the room. You hear the first sounds of the morning, and you feel the gentle, steady rhythm of your own breath, the faithful companion that has breathed you through the night. In this first quiet moment, you meet yourself not with a demand, but with a silent, gentle greeting. Something as simple as, "Good morning, I'm here." It is an acknowledgement of your own being, a small act of self-recognition before the rush of doing begins. There is no evaluation in this moment, no assessment of how well you slept or how tired you feel. Just a simple, "Hello, self. Welcome to this new day." Then imagine standing in front of the mirror. For so many, this is the first battlefield of the day. The inner critic springs into action, scanning for flaws, for signs of aging, for evidence of imperfection. But tomorrow, let's imagine you look into your own eyes with a different gaze. You look with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. You don't ignore the tired eyes or the messy hair. You see them, and you include them in a wider, more compassionate view. You see the whole person looking back at you, a person who is rested, who is waking up to a new day, who is doing their best. Maybe you offer yourself a small, gentle smile, not a big, fake smile, but a quiet, subtle upturn of the lips that says, "I'm on your side today." As you move through your morning routine, making coffee, getting dressed, preparing for your day, imagine doing so with a little less rush, a little more mindfulness. Feel the warmth of the mug in your hands. Notice the texture of the clothes you put on. Inhabit your body with a sense of gentle friendship rather than harsh command. And as thoughts about the day ahead begin to arise, with all their pressures and expectations, see if you can meet them from this new foundation of self-acceptance. When the thought comes, I have to get this project perfect today, you might gently add a new thought. I will simply do my best, and my best is enough. When the fear of not measuring up arises, you can remind yourself, my worth is not on the line here. I am worthy, regardless of the outcome. You are not trying to eliminate the old, anxious thoughts. You are simply introducing a new, kinder voice to the conversation, shifting the balance of your inner world. This is not a promise to be perfectly compassionate and accepting all day tomorrow. That would be just another form of perfectionism. This is the crucial point. We must embrace the journey of self-acceptance with that same spirit of imperfection. There will be moments tomorrow when you forget. The old habits of self-criticism will kick in. You will get caught up in striving and judgment. This is not a failure. It is simply part of the practice. The moment you notice you have been caught by the inner critic, that moment of noticing is a moment of success. It is a moment of waking up. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can either criticize yourself for being self-critical, adding a second layer of judgment, or you can take a gentle breath, place a hand on your heart, and say, there's that old pattern again. It's okay. Let me begin again. And you simply return to kindness. You return to the intention you are setting right now. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Every single time you choose a compassionate response over a critical one, you are strengthening that new neural pathway. You are watering the seed you are planting tonight. It's like learning a new language. At first, it feels clumsy and unnatural. You have to consciously think about every word. But with consistent practice, it gradually becomes more fluid, more natural, more automatic. We are learning the language of self-kindness, and we must be patient and forgiving with ourselves as we learn. So the promise for the new morning is not a promise of flawless performance. It is a promise of a gentle return, a promise to keep coming back again and again to the quiet truth of your own enoughness, to keep choosing the path of self-acceptance, one moment, one breath, one kind thought at a time. As you drift closer to sleep, hold this gentle vision of your tomorrow morning in your heart. See it, feel it, believe in its possibility. You are planting this seed now, in the most receptive soil there is. And you can trust that the deep wisdom of your sleeping mind will tend to it throughout the night. You are not just ending a day of struggle. You are beginning a new era of your life. An era defined not by the war against yourself, but by a growing and deepening friendship with the person you have always been. Rest now in this hopeful, gentle promise. A new morning is coming, and you can be ready to meet it and yourself with a little more grace than ever before. And now, there is nothing left to do, nothing left to analyze, nothing left to solve, nothing left to prepare. The journey of the mind is complete for tonight. We have walked the old battlefield and declared a lasting peace. The weapons of self-judgment have been laid down, not discarded, but understood and transformed. The critic has been seen not as an enemy, but as a misguided protector, and has been gently relieved of its duties. The ghost of perfection has faded in the warm light of acceptance. The heavy coat of shame has been shrugged off, leaving a feeling of lightness and ease. The old stories of failure have been rewritten as tales of resilience and strength. In a new language, the gentle language of self-compassion has been practiced and planted as a seed for the morning. The work is done. All that remains is to sink completely and utterly into the deep, quiet peace that you have cultivated. Feel this peace now as a tangible presence in the room, in your body, in your heart. It is the peace of the quieted battlefield. The air is still and clear. The long conflict is over. There is a profound sense of relief, of a deep and final exhale that has been held for years. Feel this relief in every muscle, every fiber, every cell of your being. It is the feeling of coming home after a long and arduous journey. The feeling of finally being able to set down your heavy burdens and simply rest. There is no one you need to be. There is nothing you need to prove. There is only this stillness, this silence, this unconditional presence. Let's guide your body now into the final stages of surrender, limb by limb, breath by breath, inviting it into a state of complete and total release. Bring your awareness to your feet, the foundation of your body. Thank them for carrying you through the day, through your life. And now, release them from all their duties. Imagine them becoming incredibly heavy, soft, and warm. Feel them sinking down into the mattress, completely letting go. Let this feeling of heavy, warm relaxation flow up into your ankles and your calves. Release all the tension from these strong muscles. Let your lower legs become limp and heavy, anchored by a gentle gravity. Allow this wave of deep relaxation to move into your knees and up into your thighs. These powerful muscles that hold you up, that move you forward, can now go completely limp. Feel them spreading out, releasing all effort, surrendering their weight entirely. Your legs are now deeply, profoundly relaxed. Now, bring this same quality of surrender to your hips, your pelvis, and your lower back. This is an area where we often store deep-seated tension and unprocessed emotions. Without needing to know what it is, just give this area permission to let go. Imagine the muscles softening, releasing their grip, creating a sense of openness and ease. Let your entire lower body feel heavy, grounded, and deeply at peace. Feel this wave of release spreading up into your abdomen and your chest. Let your belly be soft and receptive. Let your chest feel open and wide. With each breath, feel your torso sinking a little deeper into the support beneath you. A slow, gentle sinking into a profound state of rest. Allow this peaceful surrender to flow out into your shoulders, down your arms, and into your hands. Your arms, which reach and hold and do so much, can now be completely still. Feel them growing heavy and warm, resting effortlessly at your sides. Let your hands be open and soft, all grasping released. Now, let the relaxation flow up into your neck and your throat, releasing the tension of unspoken words and unexpressed feelings. Feel a sense of space and ease in your throat. And finally, allow this deep peace to saturate your head. Let your jaw be slack and soft. Let your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead, and your scalp release any remaining tension. Imagine your brain itself is floating in a calm, quiet ocean, all busy thoughts slowing down, dissolving into the gentle tide. Your entire body, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, is now in a state of deep, peaceful surrender. It is safe. It is held. It is at rest. The language of your body is now speaking directly to your mind, signaling that it is safe to completely let go. Your slow, deep breathing is a lullaby for your nervous system. The heaviness of your limbs is a confirmation of your security. The softness of your belly is a sign of profound trust. You have created all the necessary conditions for deep, restorative sleep to arise naturally and effortlessly. There is no need to chase sleep or to worry about it. You can simply trust the ancient wisdom of your body. It knows how to sleep. It knows how to heal. Your only task is to continue to let go, to surrender into this deepening peace. You are a boat that has been safely brought into a calm, sheltered harbor. The winds have died down. The waves have become gentle swells. You can drop your anchor now. The anchor of your awareness, dropping down from the busy mind into the quiet depths of your being. Rest here in the stillness. Float here in the peace. There is nowhere else you need to be. Everything is okay. Right here, right now. You are safe. You are whole. And you are ready for sleep. Let go now. Let the gentle currents of rest carry you away. Surrender. Release. Rest. The gates of sleep are opening for you. They open not with a key of effort, but with the password of acceptance. You have found the password tonight. It is the quiet knowing that all of you is welcome. The tired you, the hopeful you, the healing you. All parts of you are invited to enter this sacred state of rest. Let the final thoughts of the day be like soft, fading echoes. Let the boundaries between your body and the space around you begin to blur. You are dissolving into a vast, peaceful ocean of stillness. Sleep is coming now. It is a gentle tide rising to meet you. There is nothing left to do but to allow it to carry you home. As you drift now on the edge of sleep, in this liminal space between worlds, the mind becomes soft, open, and philosophical. The sharp edges of the day have dissolved, and we can ponder the deeper currents of this life with a gentle, dreamlike curiosity. All of you is welcome here. This has been our guiding principle tonight. But what does it truly mean to welcome all of yourself home? It means welcoming the parts of you that you have long sent into exile. Welcoming the fear that you have called weakness. Welcoming the anger that you have called unacceptable. Welcoming the sadness that you have called self-pity. Welcoming the lazy, unproductive parts of you. The awkward, uncertain parts of you, the parts that are still childish and needy. It is a radical act of inner hospitality. It is looking at the entire chaotic, beautiful, contradictory cast of characters that live within you and saying, you all belong. You are all part of this family. There are no outcasts in this heart. Perhaps this is the ultimate nature of healing. Not a process of cutting away the bad parts to leave only the good, but a process of integration. A journey of becoming spacious enough, compassionate enough to hold all of it. Maybe wholeness is not a state of serene perfection, but a state of dynamic, loving inclusion. It is the ability to sit with your own contradictions, to hold the tension of your own opposites without needing to resolve them, to be both strong and vulnerable, both wise and foolish, both sacred and profane, to be a vast and mysterious universe unto yourself, containing multitudes. What if the goal of life is not to become a perfectly polished diamond, but to become a sky, vast, open, and wide enough to contain all weather, the sunshine, the storms, the clouds, the clear blue. The sky does not resist the weather. It does not judge the storm or cling to the sunshine. It simply allows it all to pass through, remaining itself, unchanged in its fundamental nature. Can you feel that quality of sky-like awareness within you now? A stillness that is watching the last drifting clouds of thought without being disturbed by them. And in this deep acceptance, we can reconsider the nature of sleep itself. We often think of sleep as an escape, a shutting down, a period of unconsciousness where we are absent from our lives. But what if sleep is not an escape, but the ultimate act of presence and trust? What if it is the moment when we are most profoundly ourselves, stripped of all our roles, our masks, our striving? In sleep, you are not a professional, not a parent, not a partner. You are pure being. You are the raw, mysterious energy of life itself, resting and restoring. Sleep is the ultimate act of self-acceptance because it requires a complete surrender of control. You cannot force sleep. You can only create the conditions for it, and then let go, trusting that this ancient, intelligent process will take over. To fall asleep is to trust the universe, to trust that you can let go of your conscious vigilance and you will be held safely, to trust that your heart will continue to beat, that your lungs will continue to breathe without any conscious effort from you. It is a nightly lesson in faith, a practice in surrendering our small, anxious, controlling self to a much larger, wiser intelligence that knows exactly what we need. And so, we can see sleep not as a void, but as a sacred space, a sanctuary where the soul does its quiet, mysterious work of healing and integration, a place where the seeds of intention we plant are nurtured, a nightly baptism, washing away the residue of the day and allowing us to be reborn, fresh and new, into the morning. Perhaps this is why a night of deep, unconditional rest feels so profoundly healing. We are not just resting the body, we are resting the soul from its long performance. We are allowing our true nature, which is peace, to re-emerge. And what if the purpose of our waking life is simply to learn how to bring more of that sleep-like trust and surrender into our daylight hours? To walk through our days with a little less striving, a little more allowing, to trust the unfolding of our lives a little more, and to try and control it a little less. To remember, even in the midst of our busiest moments, the deep, quiet peace that is our true home, the peace we return to every night. These are questions without answers, mysteries to be lived, not problems to be solved. And this space of not knowing, this space of gentle wonder, is the perfect place from which to drift into the deepest sleep. There is nothing left to figure out. The wise, dreaming part of your mind is taking over now. It will sort and sift through the experiences of the day, weaving them into the larger tapestry of your life story, creating meaning and insight while you rest. You can trust this process completely. All you need to do is continue to let go. Deeper and deeper now, drifting, floating, sinking into a vast and welcoming peace. There is nothing left to fix, nothing left to do. Just rest. Sleep is coming now, welcoming all of you home.